So, I just went and had me spend about $20 on a meal because I was hungry, and I'm rewarding myself for adaptation because I find it very hard to adapt, and I was still frustrated, but there's positives as well as negatives, and I have to. It's part of my contract because the thing is they have to pay me a certain amount of hours, and if, because there's issues going on with the contracts, I was getting like 60 hours, 50 hours every week until a month or so ago, maybe, but before then, if the contracts decide, hey, we don't want security anymore, then the contract ends. So, they have to pay me 30 hours, but the thing is, if I'm getting, I had 25 hours this week, right? But if they offer me more work, like tonight they offered me a 12-hour shift, if they offer me that by contract, I must take it. So yeah, I'll get paid 37 instead of 30, but my autistic side kicks in. People might say, it's just excuses, but people get frustrated, and like 5 minutes later they're over. It takes me a lot longer. So we had the meeting at like 10:30, must have finished about 11, maybe a bit earlier, and now it's 20 past 12 and I've finally processed it, but I just feel like a failure because I wrote out 6 goals for me to do today, and if I'm starting at 7 p.m. tonight, I have to wake up at 5 p.m. to get ready and go. Right now it's 20 past 12, and I've done 4 of those goals, but they offered me it at the meeting, and so I said yes. But my routine self is like saying, hey, you said that you're going to record the vocals for your 4 tracks. You said that you were going to, what's the other things? Yeah, I've done them. You're going to read another chapter of the Apocrypha. You're going to apply for Scrum Master jobs and cybersecurity jobs, even though I don't have any qualifications in cybersecurity. I'm just doing it, and I've done all those things, but I also said that I was going to read all my notes for the cybersecurity study, and I said I was going to go to do the works at the gym, meaning like 200 push-ups, 3 sets of 12 Superman raises, 2-minute plank, run, not in that order, it's just saying whatever comes to mind. I do the running last, run, I stretch. I stretch at the beginning, stretch at the end. 2 kilometer run, and so it's sometimes 3 sets of 30 dumbbell lifts, and sometimes 3 sets of 20. Just because I like the routine, I like the routine, and it makes me feel good, and because I'm very careful with junk food and alcohol, I'm hoping, meaning I just have a couple when we catch up with the ADHD people, and when it gets to November or December, because I'm able, but at the same time I was going to use that to celebrate doing my course stuff, but again, I didn't realize it was 90%, and you got to keep sitting until you pass one, and there's 7 courses, so yeah, I can get 1, the possibility of getting 2 out of 7, I get something out of it. Again, full circle, go listen to my previous recordings about what I've said about this, my perspective to help me not only cope, but it is the opposite of what happened in the past. People were in my position and then ended up doing very well, and then it's just the other way around, 12-year cycle. For me, I wish it was quicker, a lot quicker, but hey, there's pros and cons too. And these other people aren't struggling, I suppose. Well, I haven't heard of them in like a decade, 9 years, and apart from that, like 8, 9 years, but no, 2010. So that would have been like 2 to 3 years afterwards. Would have been the last time I caught up with them in person, and there was no struggle on their behalf. So I don't know where they're at now. If they post something online and I get a notification, yeah, but apart from that, nah. So, I've adjusted. And I'm obviously not going to be able to go to the gym because right now it's 12:20 and it's payday today. I get paid in half an hour. So I'm going to go get my groceries right now. But obviously I've already transferred money over from savings, but then I'll replace it. But it's got to go home and sleep up, But I feel like I failed because I didn't do those other two things, But I haven't. That's why I've had the time from the end of the meeting to now to reward myself for adjusting by buying that meal at Jerry's Charcoal Chicken. Because that's one of my favourite places to go in Upper Hutt, and it's good to go to the healthy places if you're used to the healthy stuff. Why change it? Why change? Because, you're a child a child in the West that was raised in the 90s and was 12 years old at the year 2000. So a child in the West, like, let's say they, again, because I'm aware of third world countries and that, I mean, if the whole world shared their resources equally, the people way at the top with this huge abundance that make us look utterly poor would have the same as us, but so would everyone in the third world country. Everyone in the third world country would be living the same quality of life as us. But I've adapted because I've been saying that since I was a teenager. I'm aware of it, but now it's like, fine, like, you guys want to keep having this hierarchy thing where people are of lesser value because of what people say, or they're of that group, instead of saying, hey, you know what, the whole human race is one race. You know what I mean? It's one race. I'm in a car park, so it's not a very great tree, but have a look at it. See that tree? I don't know. Step up. I'm giving you my analogy of the human race. Okay, you see that tree? It's one tree, but every single branch on there is a different racial group. And on each branch you have the different figs and stuff, because that's got to do with politics and spiritual or religious beliefs. That's the human race. Where there's still the same tree and no branches of lesser value than the other. When people say, oh, but it might have less leaves. Well, I'm just using it as an analogy, okay? I'm just using that as an analogy. And if it have less leaves, it's because somebody else was more violent and aggressive and had a lot more numbers on their side and took what they wanted. There was a last time throughout history where we were the slaves. That's why that's where the term Slav came from. Slavic culture, the Slavic people from Slovenia. That's where slave came from. But you know what happens when you don't heal your ancestral trauma? You pass it on to others. And yeah, hey dude, yeah, it might have been the Muslims, because of Christianity, took 2/3 of Europe, and we responded with the Crusades to get back our own Christian countries. But even then, the Christian church came in and just obliterated all the idols and forced Europe into it. We were actually pagans, and paganism is rife throughout our culture because they just intertwined it with Christianity, and that's what Christmas is. That's why Santa Claus is Odin, the wise old father who rides on his 8-legged horse, who travels around the world to fight the demons, and he leaves gifts at every child's door. That has been good. That's what Odin did. Now that's what Santa Claus does. Anyways.